What's up, PSGINT family? It's your boy PSGINT, and today it's Q&A time. It's Q&A time. Questions and answers. Comment your best football-related questions, random questions, and I'll be answering them in my next YouTube video. So let's get straight into your questions and into my answers. First one. Do you think Liverpool-Man City matchups could be the biggest rivalry in the upcoming years, considering their forms in recent seasons? I think the Liverpool-Man City rivalry reached its peak maybe 1-2 seasons ago, and now it will just go down and down because I feel Klopp will soon be leaving, or at least something has to happen at Liverpool. They're not performing to what expected. Liverpool just got new owners who don't definitely know about them in the future. City, Pep as well. I don't think so. And Barca, Real, that rivalry is starting to come back. And Liverpool, Man City was never a rivalry. It was just two competitive teams in the same league against each other. They are not rivals. So football fans always want a historical rivalry, something that that there is some real hatred apart from, oh, you are against us, you are in our way trying to win this trophy. Next up, what was the score last time PSG faced Madrid? 3-1. Who will win the Ballon d'Or between these three? For this year, it's not Neymar. It's between Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. Of course, Lionel Messi is taking a huge step, and it will be very hard for Mbappe to overtake him. But we'll have to see. But if I had to predict, it will be Lionel Andres Messi, LM8, hashtag LM8. Who do you think PSG should go for when it comes to our defense? Skriniar aside. Yeah, no wingback, no fullback. I mean, if we're talking here right now in January, a centre-back, for me, it's all about the opportunity signing. Skriniar, that's why the Skinner sign is so good, because you're signing a world-class player in his prime, and it's an opportunity signing, meaning that he only has 6 months on his contract. We'll get him for a cheaper price. Then we can look at Ndika at Frankfurt, French centre-back. We've been linked with him before. His contract is about to run out, and they won't be extending him. So he's a good name I would look at. If I had to add more, I like Silva at Benfica. He's really, really good. But yeah, that's by it. For me, it's Skriniar or nothing. But Campos should have some names. Do you think PSG should have done more to secure Endrick, especially when they had the funds? I mean, we did everything. Endrick said yes to Paris Saint-Germain, but it was Palmeiras who rejected Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know if that was because we tried to get Endrick and the other player, but when it comes to funds, we paid a good amount of money for Endrick, and I think Palmeiras, they were just wanting more money, and Real came in and did that. It's not bad from Real Madrid. I don't think overpaying for a player or paying too much for a really high prospect like Endrick is a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, that's just the new statue of Paris Saint-Germain. If they don't take our deal, we won't be taking their deal. And I think pride is better than signing a player. Is Draxler wasted now? Was he mid from day one? No, Draxler. I was really happy when we signed him. Of course, he came before the Neymars and Mbappe, and he came, in that season when Zlatan Ibrahimovic left, so there was a void in that Paris Saint-Germain attack. Draxler came in. It was a joy to watch. I remember one of his first games was like a Coupe de France game. He scored a beautiful chip. But yeah, I mean, it's injuries and it's inconsistency, and then I don't think he's mentally focused on football. He has a really beautiful wife, and I think that's a distraction in his footballing career. So it's mostly inconsistency, and he's very injury prone. He was never mid. It was good when he played, and he always did his best actually when he was on the pitch. It was just outside of the pitch, I don't think he did the best stuff. But I really enjoyed Draxler, and there are some special memories from him. For example, when he did this celebration against Marseille at the Velodrome, that's a very nice thing. Now I'm playing the Prem better than Barrahma, because I can't. I love Barrahma, but of course there are better players than him in the Premier League. But yeah, he's a top. He's I would say probably West Ham's at least top 3 best players. Do you think Ibrahima Bamba would fit in well at PSG? Ibrahima Bamba, is he? No, Jonathan Bamba. Ibrahima Bamba. Wait 1 second. I actually need to search this up. Ibrahima Bamba. Who's this? Vitoria SC player. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who he is, so I'm not gonna say anything. What age do you think Messi will play until? I always thought he would be done with football by 34, 35, around 10, 12 years ago. But he's still here at 35 in the front runner for the Ballon d'Or. More importantly, he plays a role now where he maximizes defensive ever output. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I like to look at what Messi has given us, what the report has stated about Lionel Messi, and that is that he wants to continue playing 2 more seasons, at least at the top level in Europe, which most likely is, he already extended 1 year, he'll probably extend 1 more year after that at Paris Saint-Germain. So I think about 2 years, maybe even a third if he still keeps going on, but I would say 2 years here, and then you got 1 year Inter Miami, and then maybe 1 romantic year at Newell's Young Boys. What was your reaction after losing 3-1 to Real Madrid? Yeah, it was not. I was not mad. I was not sad. I would just. What's the word? I wasn't shocked. I was just disgusted by my players. Like, again, seriously, again, a Champions League disaster class. Again, our players making stupid mistakes. So that was most of my reaction. It was like, how could we manage to do this again? Why is Rabiot better than Tchouaméni? He is not. I do not like Rabiot at all. Tchouaméni is a really good player. What are your expectations for Neymar now, as he already failed to win the World Cup for Brazil? Listen, that's why I'm always going back to that interview. And most interviews when Neymar talks about this year, he talked about 2 stuff. He didn't just say, oh, I want to win the World Cup. He said, I want to win the World Cup and the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain, showing that he had 2 goals for this year, 2 goals for the season. And I think right now, 1 goal is out of the window. He will just completely focus on 1 goal, and that is to win the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. So I'm not as worried as some people are. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain are treating this situation very delicately, because they knew that some players would return with, not going well at the World Cup, and they're already prepared for the Neymar situation. So for me, I'm not worried. He will just focus now on the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. Which player is better than KDB or Prime Isco? Oh, listen, I don't rate system and robotic players, and that includes Kevin De Bruyne. Prime Isco. Prime Isco. It was that 16-17 season where Real played the 4-3-1-2. They had him as Cam, Benzema, Ronaldo up top. He was benching Bale, even though Bale wasn't at his best at that time. But then when you got KDB at his most natural point, it was at Wolfsburg. Is that KDB better than Prime Isco? I like Isco more, but I think KDB is the better player. But I like Isco more. Will you ever get to witness PSG win a Champions League, or will you die without watching your club win the UEFA Champions League? I mean, listen, I'm 21. I believe I will be living at least to 80 years of age or something like that. And yeah, definitely, Paris Saint-Germain will at least win 1 Champions League in that time, 100%. What happened on 9th of March? Stop with these questions, please. What do you think about the situation with the Parc des Princes? I mean, I completely understand Nasser. Paris, I mean, the city are just abusing us when we have given them so much, putting up a stupid price because we want to buy it. But listen, if they're gonna put up a stupid price, we might as well just go and build a new one. It would be hard to find space in Paris with it being so tightly compacted, the city, and old city as well. But I think Nasser can fix this situation. But yeah, if it's a stupid price, you know what, we just have to build a new one. No, we don't buy Stade de France. No way, no way. Did you know that Gavi is clear of Verratti at only 18 years old? Gavi, man, Gavi. That's my answer. Laughing. Is the Ballon d'Or already decided, considering Messi dropped the masterclass in our knockout games? I mean, yeah, again, I don't think it's about him dropping masterclasses in our knockout games. I think it's all about him winning that trophy and having a really good game in the final. I think that's the most important thing. So even if he had, had a masterclass in the knockout games and then lost the World Cup final, then Mbappe would of course be the favorite at the moment. But Messi is definitely the favorite. Do I see a way for Kylian Mbappe to make a comeback or something? Definitely. But it would be extremely hard. And if I had to predict, a gun to my head, choose one, I'm choosing Lionel Andres Messi. You have to buy a new defender, midfielder, and attacker. Who would you choose to make the PSG team better? So, defender, it would obviously be Skriniar. He would come in for a good price. He's a really world-class, really experienced defender. Can play in a 3 and a 2 at the back, and a 4 at the back. And would come very cheap with him only having 6 months left on his contract. Midfielder, who would I choose? You know what? One player I've always loved and I always wished to come to Paris Saint-Germain is Milinkovic-Savic, and he would add a lot of stuff to our midfield. Even though he's not what Paris Saint-Germain are looking after. Paris Saint-Germain are looking after a ball-winning midfielder like an N'Golo Kante. But I would, if I had to choose, I would choose Milinkovic-Savic. He would add height. He would add, a midfielder that can score. He's very similar to Fabian, so maybe it's not the best. Maybe a ball-winning midfielder is better for Paris Saint-Germain. That's true. I'm gonna try think of one. Top of my head. Yeah, like an Ndidi, someone like that. And an attacker, I would probably choose someone that is really good and happy with being on the bench. Because if you look at Manchester City, one of our Champions League rivals, they have a lot of good bench. They have Mahrez on the bench. That's a world class player on the bench. I want to have a world class. One more. Oof. Alvarez. Why Olympic Marseille? I mean, this is an Inter fan. Listen, we took Hakim, and now it's time for Skriniar, and then Barella, and then keep crying. When did you start watching football? I started watching football around 2012. That's when I saw some games here and there before that, but when I myself started watching football games, it was around that time. Yeah. When will Mbappe finally leave PSG? Are you happy or sad about it? Mbappe, if he leaves or stays, doesn't really matter. Of course, I want him to stay at Paris Saint-Germain for as long as possible, but when he wanted to leave before, I had accepted it. I was shocked by the extension because I didn't think it was gonna happen. But if he wants to leave, I will accept it. So happy or sad, yeah. I mean, happy. I may be sad, you know, but I will accept it and respect his decision. Why Real Madrid will win the Champions League this season? I don't think Real Madrid will win the Champions League this season. I'm not saying it was a fluke. I don't like to use, you know, oh, they didn't deserve, oh, it was lucky. But I'm just saying a lot of stuff went Real Madrid's way last season in the Champions League. It was like it was written in the stars. It's like Argentina's World Cup this year. Went to a lot of penalties, conceded a lot of goals in the last minute, but they just went on to win it because they had that vibe, they had that rhythm. And I don't think Real Madrid will have that rhythm again. German or Russian? Busquets or Casemiro? At the moment, Casemiro, but of all time, Busquets. Greatest siege of all time. Greatest siege of all time. Oh, the Caesar one. You know which one I'm talking about? I don't remember who it was against, the Gauls, but I don't remember the exact one, but that one. When they made a siege around him, he had a siege around them. Oh, that was crazy. What nation has the best cuisine in the world? Italia. Real Madrid owes PSG? No. Thoughts on Real Madrid latest signing Endrick? Yeah, listen. In a respectful way, congratulations, because this was a player I really wanted at Paris Saint-Germain, and we had tough competition with you, not Chelsea and Barca. I don't know why people reported them. Endrick was never going to choose them before us two. Yeah, congratulations to you. And people, you know, saying, oh, you paid this amount for a 16-year-old. Yeah, exactly. that should tell you how good he is, all right? But yeah, congratulations. Your top 5 PSG legends. So from the players I've seen: Thiago Silva, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Marco Verratti, Marquinhos, Thiago Motta. 3-1. Wow, a lot of comments here from Vintage Vinicius. Do you think Messi ends up in Miami after his PSG contract when he just retire? I mean, he has already extended 1 year, but you mean when he leaves Paris Saint-Germain? Yeah, he will go to Inter Miami 100%. He will 100% go to Inter Miami. Where do you rank Haaland? In football world right now, top 5, yeah, top 5. Of course, I got Eminem at the top, but Haaland probably fourth. Would you take Rashford at PSG? 100%. Like when we were linked to him last season, I was one of the people that said, yeah, let's take him. A lot of PSG fans are against this move, but I'm up for it. Listen, if he comes, he's okay with a bit of a rotation role. Sometimes sits on the bench, comes on as a substitute, sometimes starts, sometimes here. If you don't accept that, he's welcome to Paris Saint-Germain. Bob's leaving a small club. Do you remember this game? Yeah, I do. When will PSG buy Lenglet? Never. We don't buy bums. What was your reaction after losing 6-1 to Barcelona? I punched a hole in my door. Yeah, it was. I didn't go to school for a long time because I remember I went to all the Barca fans and put that 4-0 in their face, and I couldn't just go back. So yeah, it was a very hard, and I was much younger then, so it was much more emotional at that time. 61, 76, 78. Why PSG don't have a Champions League trophy? Because we haven't won one yet. Do you think if Neymar wins the UEFA Champions League for Paris, he will go on to become a club legend? And who's your best player that's not in PSG? Haaland is the best player in the world right now. That's not a Paris Saint-Germain player. And yes, if Neymar wins the Champions League. When it comes to the term legend, I always want to wait until they leave or retired from the club to use the term legend. Because we're never going to know when this is going to end. If Neymar stays until 2027 when his contract ends, then he will definitely be a Paris Saint-Germain legend. So, that's why I always like to use it at the end of their career. Who are you supporting for the World Cup final? I couldn't watch your full reaction because the underwear on your head was disgusting. It wasn't underwear. It's like a bandana because my headphones are broken. But to your point, I supported both teams, both nations, because I'm not French, I'm not Argentinian, and I won't be supporting other nations. So I was just enjoying Mbappe and Messi ball. Di Maria ball as well. What will be your reaction when Messi leaves PSG and joins Barca again? I mean, he just extended, aka rejecting FC Barcelona. So yeah, it's a dub from Lionel Messi. He has obviously acknowledged that there are some problems at Barcelona which he does not want to return at, and he would rather stay here in the glamorous city of Paris. So the opposite has actually happened, and my reaction to it exists on YouTube, and I can give you a new one. Take the fat L. Well, that was it for the live ad. The Q&A was very chill. Loved a lot of the questions. Vintage Vinicius, listen, Stop. Stinky. You're stinky. You're stinky. Alright? Where's your parents at? They need to take your phone. Well, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel. And as always, allez, allez. Allez, bye.